Thousands of Fighting Irish fans are storming the Steel City. The Pittsburgh Panthers are thirsty for blood.
It's one of those games where you know you're going to win, and it's going to be a fight.
The Panthers can't forget and won't forgive the Fighting Irish for a huge fourth quarter rally that took both teams to triple overtime last season. That is before a missed field goal saved Notre Dame from an upset. This year, it is all about revenge.
They don't come out gunslinging, they don't come out running the ball hard.
Notre Dame, Pitt, blue and gold versus blue and gold.
I'm crazy about it.
ABC 57 has your all-access pass to the game.
Aaron Donald, one-man wrecking crew.
Will the Irish be able to answer with star player Irish Chocolate back on the field?
He's going to be, good to go.
Yeah. I'm addicted to the thrill. It's a dangerous love affair. Victories within the mile. Almost there, don't give up now. Only thing that's on my mind is who gonna run this town tonight.
ABC 57's Kickoff Countdown starts right now. All right, I don't know if that doesn't get you pumped up. What will for tonight's game? Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me. We are now less than an hour away from kickoff at Heinz Field. I'm Kim Chappell. Tonight, it's the 69th meeting between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Pittsburgh Panthers, and we are bringing you all of the pre-game excitement tonight. The Irish are playing under the lights and in front of a national audience. We do have team coverage tonight with ABC 57 reporters live in Pittsburgh and at Heinz Field. But first tonight, Irish head coach Brian Kelly says he is counting on his guys to keep the momentum going this week and find that winning rhythm they've picked up so far this season. The Irish offense is proving to be a force, coming off of 4 straight wins with a total of 134 points. And on defense, after 2 weeks in a row defending the triple option against Air Force and Navy, Kelly says his team is excited to get back to what they know best.
Defensively, get back to playing traditional football, getting away from the option. We played extremely well against USC, and we want to build on that.
And Pittsburgh head coach Paul Chryst in a news conference this week said his defense has all eyes on quarterback Tommy Rees.
To me, players are the strengths and weaknesses of teams. Offensively, I mean, they're still some of the same formations they were in last year, doing some of the same things, but they're going to play to Tommy Rees's strengths a little bit more.
And Panther defensive tackle Aaron Donald is looking to make things tough for Rees. He goes by the name Donald Devastation, and he's one of the best interior linemen in the game right now, averaging 1 sack per game this season. And last year's loss still burns for devoted Pitt fans and only adds fuel to the fire for tonight's rivalry game. A win tonight for the Panthers would be sweet revenge and could put them back on track to be eligible for a BCS bowl game. Earlier this week, one Pitt player was quoted saying Notre Dame players and coaches were, quote, cocky.
Midwestern team, tough, blue collar, physical. They don't seem to, like Notre Dame very much, and they want to beat Notre Dame. I just think it's one of those games where you're going to go in and it's going to be a fight, and we're prepared for that.
And right now, ABC 57's Emily Pritchard is live for us in Pittsburgh on Heinz Field. And Emily, these two teams are really ready for a fight tonight.
No question about it. Depending on who you ask inside this stadium here tonight, they either describe last year's game as heartbreaking or a miracle win. But there's no question that many people inside this stadium are having flashbacks to last year's game, and they have a lot to say about it.
Every game in the last 3 years has been within 7 points.
1 year ago, it came down to threes. The game ended on the goal line in triple overtime, with Notre Dame pulling ahead by 3, 29-26.
Like any person not playing 3 overtime, they got to win. I was excited. I was happy. I was, everything went our way.
And Indy knows there was a tad bit of luck on their side.
It's the only game I've ever been in that was 3 overtimes. And it was a nail-biter, down to the very last second. A missed field goal late, in overtime that gave us the ability to come back and score.
Pitt's kicker Kevin Harper missed a field goal at the end of the second overtime where they could have won that game.
It was relief, and we got another opportunity to try to get this one, and luckily we were able to get it.
But Pitt rallies and makes the next field goal, but Notre Dame answers with a touchdown. A loss like that can fuel a year's worth of preparation for the rematch. This week, Pitt tight end J.P. Holtz, who scored a touchdown in last year's game, told the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette that he just doesn't like Notre Dame at all and thinks they're cocky. And there's no question the result of last season's game at Notre Dame Stadium is motivation for the Panthers. But for the Irish, they say they know what's coming.
I just know it's always going to be a fight, against Pitt.
They take us down to the wire every year.
The Irish say they always hear a lot of chatter about themselves.
The trash talk, we hear it all the time, but just adds fuel to the fire and we're ready to go.
But at the end of the day, it's all in the preparation.
That's our goal, to be better this week than we were last week.
And at this point in the season, the Fighting Irish are dealing with a lot of injuries. And that has them really testing head coach Brian Kelly's philosophy of the next man in. ABC 57's Emily Evans joins us on the other side of the end zone inside Heinz Field tonight. And Emily, who is stepping into these new roles?
Defensive tackle Tyler Stockton has always been there for his teammates both on and off the field. He has just one career tackle on the books. Despite that, now is his time to shine.
Defensive tackle Tyler Stockton had not planned to play for Notre Dame for a fifth year, but he's here. Coach Kelly asked him back because of the valuable leadership skills he brings to the team.
We like the young man in terms of the locker room. He's great in the locker room. He's a great kid. Really like his personality. He's a team player.
Leadership and positive attitudes seem to come easily to Stockton, and it's easy to see why his teammates look up to him.
Some teammates come in and had a tough day or did bad on a test. Coming into the Goog, this is the fun part now. The schools is the hard part at Notre Dame. Playing football is the fun and exciting part. That we get to just let loose and do something that we all love.
And his mental toughness seems to come naturally as well, ready at any moment to be the next man in.
Just being prepared. Just knowing what you have to do on the defense, knowing your role on the team, knowing that if somebody goes down, you got to come in and contribute just the way they were.
Although he hasn't seen much time on the field, he says he wouldn't trade his experience at the University of Notre Dame for anything.
It's what everyone thinks, a dream come true. It's a blast. I'm wanting to go to any other school.
Now, Louis Nix III is reported to be back to 100% after struggling with some chronic knee tendonitis, but Stockton will be ready to go on the sidelines if Nix's tendonitis flares back up. Kim?
And Irish fans will be closely watching the warm-ups this week, looking at the lineup to see which of those injured players could be back on the field. Coach Kelly waited all week to confirm whether Louis Nix would play tonight. And on Thursday, as Emily mentioned, Irish fans learned that Nix, known as Irish Chocolate, would be taking his spot on the field, though to what extent, we still don't know.
He had a good week of practice, a full week of practice, moved around well, was in the training room all week. Everybody feels like he's going to be, good to go.
And left guard Chris Watt is also expected to see some playing time tonight after he was out with a partial knee tear. And Kelly says that Elijah Shoemate is good to go after a hamstring injury that kept him out for the last 3 games. And tonight's matchup is the 69th time the Panthers and the Irish have gone head-to-head. The teams first played in 1909. The Irish led the series both at home and on the road with 47 wins to Pittsburgh's 20. The teams have tied once. Before the Panthers moved their home games to Heinz Field, they played their last game at Pitt Stadium against Notre Dame back in 2004. But despite that series lead, last year's nail-biter is proof that the Panthers have what it takes to pull off a win at home tonight. And the Fighting Irish, they know what to expect.
Opponent.
Pitt will have every threat because no matter when we play them, they're going to play to their best ability. We still have to play with discipline, still have to go out there and play our fundamental assignments, and everybody have to play their key role.
And Pittsburgh, their QB is anticipating a consistent defense they hope to break through.
I think they're just very disciplined. I think they don't make too many mistakes. So we got to find our shots and take advantage of them.
So far, the Irish have only given up 182 points on defense this year. And it is all happening again tonight at Heinz Field. The stadium sits right along the Ohio River and is home not only to the Pitt Panthers, but also the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Notre Dame fans who are in Pittsburgh tonight have something they aren't used to at home. It's a giant 26 by 96 foot scoreboard and TV to catch all of the action. The pro field could pose some challenges for the Irish special teams.
The concerns for me sometimes is the wind there. You know, they've got some conditions that are tricky in kicking game. So we've had to spend a little bit of time with our kickers.
And right now it is breezy in Pittsburgh with wind gusts of up to 25 miles per hour. And Irish fans are invading the Panther Pit, bringing the tailgate right outside of Heinz Field. Today, we caught up with Irish alumni who now live near Pittsburgh and who were pumped for tonight's game.
There is no comparison. Look around. Is the atmosphere the same? You have a lot of concrete versus a lot of mystique.
Friday afternoon, busloads of fans from Notre Dame and St. Mary's headed out east for tonight's game. And just ahead as our countdown to kickoff continues. A special experience for a very special ND player who's overcome incredible odds just to earn his spot on the roster. And now we've got some Notre Dame trivia for you tonight. Which former Notre Dame quarterback hails from Pennsylvania? Was it Brady Quinn, Joe Montana, or Jimmy Clausen? Take a good guess. We've got the answer right when we come back.